Well, hello tubers. I got a mega project here I've been working on for a week now. This is a Honda 1986 Honda 350X. And a lot of wiring and some new things to make the bike more desirable. And I'll give you a little tour of what I've all been working on here. I've been watching eBay for a year now, and I wanted a Goke electric starter. This is aftermarket stuff here, by the way. And they never come up available. They're really rare, and if you do find them, they're usually junk. There was one that did come up for sale on eBay, brand new one, matter of fact. They wanted $2,500 for it. I kid you not. But anyway, I didn't pay that for this, but yeah, this has all been refurbished. We sandblasted, touched it up. I pulled the starter drive right off the end and re-greased it so it goes in and out real nice. I don't know, just all little details. I put grease on the bowl gear. There's a pickup in here for where it senses where it's got to fire the spark. And anyway, I have a 200X one in my old housing, and this is a little thicker inside, so I had to kind of modify to make that work because there's no new pickup available for these machines. So the starter is all hooked up now, but I still got a lot of other stuff that I'm going to wire in. Now, what I did is for the 2014 400X there, I bought all the parts for that, for as far as the starter solenoid, battery cables and such, so I could retrofit the newer stuff into this. But first of all, I had to figure out a place to mount the battery. And what I came up with, this is a lithium battery, and it's for a Harley. It's got some pretty good output. I got the negative disconnected, so there's never no harm. I got to show you if you can see that. I'll push the button in, and then that says battery voltage on the end of the battery. Now in my bins, I got bins with rubber biscuits, all kinds of them, and them work perfect for this. This is where the taillight used to mount. So what I did is I made a bracket up to support the battery from the bottom, and then I got a little rubber insulator which holds it in place, threaded rod, and these are rubber hoses to keep it from chafing on the side of the battery. Now the voltage regulator had to be relocated, so what I did is I just mounted that on a bracket I made here, and the cables I had to cut them all to length for what we needed. Made up some little aluminum brackets where they slide the solenoid right on a rubber biscuit for that. And then for the fuse, I thought I'm going to put him right here. I got my quick disconnect, so if you want to pull it out, the easier access. I still got to finish all this stuff, but anyway, that's what that's all about. And I was testing how much load it takes to trigger this. I didn't know if I wanted to use a relay for the start or not. So, and if you come up here, you can see where I run the positive lead, go to the starter for the crank. Now where I got the switch for that 2014 for the start button to have it right on here instead of their cobble tape it on type one. So I want to use that feature, and then there's a micro switch, so you got to have the clutch in to start it. You can hear that. So I have that all connected in, but unfortunately I had to knock the whole harness apart to make it and adapt it for my machine here. Here's the funny part. I bought a brand new aftermarket one, but that didn't have the start button on it that I was using. And look at that, them ends, two of them ends pulled off on there. I thought that's the kind of stuff you see on the aftermarket things. They're never 100% correct, it seems sometimes. And also, I had to kind of modify the clutch handle here and where the cable goes through. If I would have got the factory handle for this housing that I had to buy for the 14, the pull would have been out farther, which would have made the clutch more touchy. And I wanted to get this fit in, so I got a couple of brass bushings in here. Everything's all greased, and that other half of that's optional. I'm not going to be using that. Now here's the reason why that crossbar, that's going to be optional. We're going to paint the bars black. She's going to sandblast all that stuff when she gets here. I cut the brackets down here so I could just use the handlebar mounts to hold my accessory bracket here. And then I'm going to have two gauges up here for your GPS speedometer and your tachometer. It's all getting wired in now because we have a battery. And over here I have the gauges. That's your speedometer and your tachometer. And then the GPS sensor, I gotta drill that out a little bigger for him, and he gets mounted on the back of the speedometer through that existing hole right there. Oh, and I forgot to show you the taillight mount where I changed that, where the taillight used to be right here. I made up a couple L brackets out of some 2-inch angle and cut the other half off there. And they had a couple of weep holes on the bar right here, so I just drilled and tapped into that with a 1/4-inch fine bolt. No nut needed on that. And then the taillights move back far enough to have your battery right here. And last night, after I went in the house, I drew up a wiring diagram, which will save me time in the long run. I still got to mark a few of the wire colors on here, but yeah, we'll get that all hooked up, and definitely it's Chilton's time saver, as they say. This was my template to cut up for that dash here. And what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to take some scuff pad and then make it look like a brushed aluminum on the back side and whatever, and then we're going to clear coat that. So anyway, tubers, that's what I've been working on here lately. So I'll turn the camera back on in a little while here. We'll give you a progress report on what's going on. Well, tubers, I just picked this up a few weeks ago. I drove a long ways to get this. It's a 2014 400X, and the owner's manual was even in the wrapper yet. So nibs are on the tires, and what a nice machine. This is like a first for me to buy something that nice and new. I ain't got to really do much to it. Usually I buy something that's rough and put it together. So I thought, well, I don't have any new cars or anything, so let's buy kind of a newer machine here. So a lot of fun driving this. Electrical candy. Don't that make you hungry? Well, making some progress here. I tapped into the wire for the coil right back here, which goes to the front. Fuse holder, I got him laying off to the side here. I'm just going to leave him hang there. Everything else is mounted good though. And then it comes around up to the front here, and I'm going to start on this now up here. And anyway, here's a neat little trick. I'll give you a couple here. I don't have a black wire with a yellow trace, so what I do, right at where the connection gets made on this one, I'll have a little band on there, so it'd be black, and then that indicates for your yellow trace. Hey, here's another tip for you folks. Switches. You ever wonder which way the switch goes when you're going to install it? If it don't have that little tag on it? It's always easy to identify these, because you see the little slot on the bottom there, that little key thing? Anyway, that always means the switch goes in with that facing down. What song were you singing?
My baby loves love, my baby loves to love it. He knows what it takes and he knows how to use it. I love you, I need you, I got to have you. Now you're making me nervous.
Well, it's the next day here now, and Jackie's got the handlebars all sandblasted and painted nicely. Meanwhile, I don't like the master hanging where it could possibly leak and take some paint off. Everybody knows where brake fluid does take paint off, so kind of hose clamped at the store. Meanwhile, I got the gauge wires in loom, and the rest gets tucked behind the headlight real carefully. So stuff's been tested, it works, and we're going to press one and continue. Here comes some trouble. Now here's another little tip for you folks. I always center punch stuff, little dots I put in here. Then it's easy to reference. So when you put it together, everything will all line up and you ain't got to shuffle stuff around. You're going to get it right back to the way you had it. Here's my little brushed aluminum panel. What I do on this is I take a Rudd scuff pad and scratch the heck out of it and then clear coat it. Getting your right time. Got everything kind of all put together and tucked in here. Now we just got to get the headlight and the headlight guard in, and it's going to be, let's go for a ride time. Oh, here, I'll show you the other side. Side C. Look at that. I want my ride. Now I did do a little more work on the bike yet, which I want to include with the video here. Originally, I made a wing nut thing up here where I could take this off, put the socket in there, and then I was using my one-way clutch so it don't rip the drill out of your hand, and stick that on the drill. And that would start the machine. It was a little bit inconvenient, but when that Goke starter came available, I thought, I think we're going to do that. So, the ammo box here, I made one out of two of them, and I cut the latch so it'll still clear everything, as you can see there. And I actually had to weld, it's like welding a beer can, but I had to weld it all the way around. And the lid on these always opens from the top, and I wanted it to open from the back so I can just stuff my drill in here, which did work out quite well. Then I had a couple of mounts, and I thought, I'm going to put this back on because then we can use that for throwing bottles of water or something in. But anyway, I have a charging system on here now. Let me give you a little electrical 101, some of the issue here that I ran into on doing that. I drew you up a really neat little picture here. I'm going to try to explain this to you folks. Now this would be the original electrical system for for running the lights and stuff. But the stator in these is one wire goes to ground and one is to feed your lights. And then it goes to a voltage regulator, which takes this to ground to keep the voltage from going above your 14 volts. So AC will not charge a battery. So what I did, with a stator with the ground going right to it, you can't have that if you want to run a rectifier. So I have a simple one diode rectifier which does work. I'll show you where the problem comes in on that. But anyway, I tapped into the AC one wire that comes off the engine here. And I got a switch on there, that one you just seen, and a diode, and then it goes to the battery to charge it. But there is no regulator, but it does. What happens then, due to having AC wave with this, and they don't have the three wires coming off the stator, you're only getting half the AC wave instead of the full AC wave. So it still produces several amps, which it does work, but there's no voltage regulator on it. It's not perfect, but if needed, I can throw that on. Actually, the machine will run a long time just off the lithium battery. So I didn't even ever charge it yet, other than doing all that testing. I ran her down a little, but it's holding out pretty darn good where the bike starts right away. Now, here I have my tray of diodes. These are pretty good sized ones. And I actually made, you know, your 4 diode rectifier to try it, and yeah, it didn't work. Now the other thing, where I got the lithium battery, it reminds me of them jump packs you use for your cars. They're pretty powerful. And then I got all the new cables throughout and everything all soldered and nicely put together to get as much current as I can going through to that starter system. Now I don't know why, but once in a while when I crank it, if I don't hold the throttle just a little bit, it will kick back. It sounds like the Harley starting. But a lot of times too, you can just hit the button and it'll fire right up. So I'll make sure I got everything on here this time. Fuel's on, switch is on. You got to have the clutch switch in. Like I said, I like that for a safety thing, and we'll hit the go button here. See, it caught that little bit of lag, but you really don't need a compression release. And now, we're not charging right now, so I'm going to show you this. I'll turn it on. So, you see how that works? Shut her back off. and there you have it. Oh, I'm in trouble now. Here comes the girlfriend. Hey, I'm going to give you one more tip that I ran into. On the 250, the tack worked fine. What I did, I hooked it into the coil on the black yellow wire on the coil on that, and the tack worked just fine. For some reason, it didn't like that on this bike, so I ended up, it was green with a white trace wire that I took right off the CDI box. So I thought I'd throw that tip to you because the tack was acting kind of goofy, and as you can see now it works just fine. So anyway, that might be something that help one of you guys out if you're going to do this project. I want my ride. All that. Fuel's on, ignition's on, power's on. My favorite bike.
I'm back.
All right, I got it neutral. We're gonna go new one for 400 now. Okay, we're good. Bye-bye. Bad film guy. She's gonna turn left there. See that? Yep. Seen that coming. All right. I gotta get on my machine now. I'm being challenged. This is something else to try to record and drive without a clutch. I think that's nice that you folks want to come along for our ride. We're just out having fun.
No poke.
Yeah. Hey, if it ain't yours, don't just beat on it.
It's meant to be beat on.
Whoa! We were racing the other day. There's a parking lot behind us here. It's a real long run, solid blacktop, and we're doing rolling starts. She was right behind me with that thing.
I like it.
They're 2-inch. They're not like the ones on the other. But I couldn't get a speedometer with an analog read. They got to have a little motor in them then for to make the needle thing work.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we had to have it settle with a digital. It's a nice. It's
Oh,
nice.
that's nice. It's nice to know how fast you're going. Like I said, 32 from there.
Oh.
That's not much space.
No. But I bet I could get 40.
On that, probably. No.
But no.
No broken legs. All right.
All right. let the clutch out slow here. Okay. Okay, we're out. First gear's out. Okay, we go. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep that tractor rolling. Whoa! Oh, she's with me. We're having fun. Wish you were here. And anyway, I'm gonna park this, so talk to you guys later.
That's pretty hot and short.
Ah.
Still taping me off.
We're doing good. No.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I'll stop. I'll stop.
Please.
Okay. Tubers are going like, no, don't stop.
goddamn bitch!
Stop, get,
You got my bike dirty! Tommy would say, what the fuck? She's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, she takes good care of my stuff. So, way cool. Okay. Okay, I'll stop the camera now.
Like I said, Tommy would be going, that's what they're made for.
Yeah.
Okay, tubers, I thought I'd take a minute to show you what we've been up to when you're not seeing what I'm doing. This bike here, there's only two of them. We actually bought in the same state that I live in Wisconsin. That's a 200X from 1984. This one here came from Wisconsin, very close to where I live. It's a 86 350X. Every one of these bikes we restored these guys. Yeah, it keeps us out of trouble last winter. So I thought I'd give you a little look at them. And that's with the Goke starter on it now. Love that. That's the hot ticket. This one here came from Rockford, Illinois. Awesome guy we met. Ran really nice. And was so up and up, and he had to do his last wheelie with it before we loaded it up. What a character. But I like when they got the original grab bar and toolbox and all of that. That all costs extra money on these. They don't give that stuff away. The Yamaha here, that's from 1980. I bought that actually 82. I bought that brand new in 82. Oh, there's a girlfriend pounding on the Cushman. Two-wheelie. But anyway, yeah, we're having a little fun here today, I guess you could say. So the 82 Yamaha, we just redid this guy. The rear fender was all boogered up. I kind of flipped it in third gear and doing a wheelie in a quarry. But anyway, we got that all restored now, all fixed up. And this is a 1987 250 SX. Put the gauges on it. It's got a reverse light, electric start. Awesome piece. Semi-automatic where there's no clutch. It's just, you just shift. When you shift, it clutches it. We had the whole gearbox apart, all new bearings, brakes, seals, you name it. We literally built a brand new bike again from 1987. Stuck a lot of time in this one, took the motor right out. Yes, we did. Now here's the one the girlfriend drove all the time. It's a 200X. And we went to Kalamazoo, Michigan to pick this guy up. This stuff is all second generation, it's called. The white ones, they're really hard to find. Way better engineering before they discontinued these things. We went through a whole bike, new chain, new whatever. The plastics on the rear of that guy, that's all original. They had a leather cover on the gas tank. That's the original gas tank. There wasn't a scratch on it. Unreal for something that old. And that guy there, we went to Missouri. I left here at 9:30 at night, went to Missouri, and dealership had it. And the guy that had it passed away. The owner's manual, it sat for years. The owner's manual was in the wrapper yet. So, what a great find. But yeah, I was on the road for 24 hours, no sleep. Not a fun time.
Hoo, 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 hoo. Never mind. Well, hey, tubers. Thank you so much for stopping by, spending some time with me again. And I put a lot of time in on getting these videos together and actually do a lot of reshoots because I'm not happy with stuff. So anyway, if you can, slap me a like. If I deserve it, give me a dislike. I guess, you know, I think I do good, but times maybe I don't. So anyway, take care, and I'd love to catch you back here again. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.